Hello guys, Philip again. I get back to you with a new video, a new idea, and we won't talk about synthesizers. We will talk about software, about plugins, and why they are so amazing. So in my last projects, I was using a lot of software instruments, software effects, instead of working with hardware stuff. It doesn't mean that I don't use it anymore, but in some situations, like when I have interesting sound, I need a little bit upgrade or boost or like modification, software effects may be really helpful. So basically we're gonna talk about 5 plugins. Cableguys Shaperbox, the last version, Nicky Romero Kick Start, it was done with Cableguys too. D16 Phoscyon, the second one, so it's one of the best 303 emulation on the market, so legendary bassline made by Roland, but you don't need to spend thousands of euros to have your own copy. Sugarbytes Looperator and Aparillo, which is really interesting synthesizer with a little bit different interface from the other synths on the market. Let's jump to Ableton right now and I will tell you more about each of the plugins and how do I use them. Phoscyon Acid Line, the second version by D16. It's a Polish company. They always made the software emulations of the most legendary machines like 808, 303, a lot of amazing distortion units, chorus, amazing chorus, delays, reverbs, kick generator, punchbox as I remember, and many more. Phoscyon is a clone of Roland 303. We all know about it. It's a machine that was used with acid house, with techno, with a lot of like music for raves. It always fits in any kind of genre. When you're gonna put one layer on the top, it's just amazing to boost a bit your track. So how does it look? How does it work? Okay, so the first thing you see in Phoscyon is the pattern generator. Basically, you generate your own patterns or like sequences. You can change the notes, you can add some accents, slides, vibrato, and basically it sounds like that. So immediately it's like really danceable. It's really smart that the guys divided it into 4 groups. So the first group is scene, then synthesis, distortion and reverb. So basically in the first one, in the scene, you set different patterns. In synthesis, you still keep going on with the same pattern, but it's gonna sound differently because of different type of synthesis. Then you choose a different type of distortion and at the end you use any effect with it. So easy. So let's get back to the first one. We choose our favorite pattern and then we're gonna move to the synthesis changing. You can immediately tell that it's beefy, it has power, it's gonna really work well with the beat. And then at the end you set different effects or like different distortion. It can sound boring at the beginning, but then you go through different types of syntheses, different settings, then distortion, reverb, and you can craft it to sound good with house, with techno, or any other genre. I created really quickly a simple drum loop. Nothing special, right? Let's play them together. Yeah, I like it. The last thing is that it can be mapped with any MIDI controller. So for example, I prepared my iPad with Touch OSC software. So Touch OSC is an app that allows you to program your own MIDI controllers, different layouts, different buttons, different knobs, whatever. So it can be used really universal with different machines, but this time I program it with cutoff, resonance and decay. You can notice that if I move some encoders or knobs here, that parameters of cutoff, decay and resonance is changing on the screen. And this is how it works in real life. This is why I love this plugin. It sounds amazing, it has different effects on board, different synthesis types, and as you probably remember, I had a clone of 303 and it was a little bit pain in the ass to program and then record, achieve a really fat sound from it. Maybe I wasn't able to, but anyway, this plugin saves my life. I always wanted to make music with 303-ish layers inside, but I never, maybe I was too lazy to do it, and with this one it's straightforward. I love it. Thank you so much, D16, because it's an amazing plugin, amazing product. So thank you so much. And I need to mention now about Kick Start plugin, which is like really simple. It can be used on any track you have, and it's gonna make the track duck when you say so. For example, when I have a really crazy bass line like that one, I need to make a space for the kick drum to break through. This is how it sounds without it, and after I will increase the mix button. So that would be the plugin number 2. Alright, so let's move to the next plugin, which is Cableguys Shaperbox. Shaperbox 3, it's their like last version. I never used the previous ones, but when I saw the third one, immediately I wanted to have it. It's a multi-effect, and as you can see, it has different effects like filter, volume, and how the effect's gonna work is totally up to you. It's not only about setting like dry and wet or the timing, but you draw your own character of it. It can change everything or like take it to another galaxy. If you're gonna use a vocal with it, it can be transformed to a rhythmic pattern. It's gonna be totally twisted, totally modified. This is why I love it. Sometimes I have no ideas, I don't know what to do with the sounds, and then boom, Shaperbox arrives. It helps me to achieve some nice results sound-wise and mixing-wise. Pretty simple percussion loop. Nothing special. And then check it out how it's gonna work with this one. Totally twisted. And of course I could show you a bit more, like let's say next pattern. You see, now from the hi-hat we have some percussive tool. Now scratch. Gate with a kind of a freeze effect. Or like better stereo. It's not only hi-hat anymore. It's something different. That's why I like it so much. I don't need to think about it. The technology is helping me to achieve the results I wouldn't even expect. I learned how to make music in a classical way, so you know, I know the keys, I know the syntheses, this and that. I would like to get out from my box in my head, and computer is really helpful. So the next one is Aparillo by Sugarbytes. Aparillo is a FM synthesizer and has something called Orbit. Orbit is a one-touch sound morphing engine, simple way to modify your sound a bit. We take this simple, pretty easygoing sequence, and instead of moving traditional parameters up and down like cutoff and LFOs, this and that, or like sending it to different effects, we just move this one red dot in the middle. immediately it starts to sound a little bit different. Imagine it if you would use it with a XY pad, move it with your finger. It's pretty cool, right? I haven't seen any other synthesizer with that kind of interface. Looperator is also a multi-effect device done by Sugarbytes like Aparillo. You have different choices: the slices, filter, loops, effect 1, 2, envelope. It can be randomly generated or it can be programmed by you, but anyway, it has a 1 bar, 16 steps, and then you choose different effect on each of the steps. So without the Looperator it sounds like that, and with the Looperator it's going to be totally different. And it's so easy to change it and to create something new. And you know, like sometimes the presets are like overloaded by the options and you need to do it by yourself. Like I use a lot the loops because I can choose a really simple single note pattern and then make it more interesting with the repeats like pam pam tam pam pam without changing the pattern itself. Just do it in the plugin. I just took this tambourine and I used it with Shaperbox, and it's also like pretty crazy. Let me just play the same track without the effects I have. And let's try it out with the effects now. I totally recommend these plugins that help you to create something different, to upgrade your sound designing skills, to understand that you don't need to learn everything about the music itself, analyze everything. Sometimes let it go. Somebody created a plugin that we need as music producers. Let's take it, let's use it in the right way, let's make something interesting. The most important thing in it is the final product. Don't bother when somebody's gonna tell you, hey, oh, you need to analyze the whole thing, you need to learn how everything works in 100%. No, sometimes you need to be guided by a plugin, by other producer. Somebody needs to give you an inspiration, because we are not able to know everything in every detail. So I hope that you enjoyed that video, you like the plugins. Let me know in the comments, do you use them, or maybe you decided to buy after my video. You are always welcome in my social medias. If you would need my help with your music production, just let me know. You got everything around me right now, like links and other stuff. So ciao.